for my score prediction, and in being it's an away game, and the way Chelsea is right now in terms of their form, I'll give it a 4-0. I'll give it a 4-0.
That is the way.
I'll give it a 4-0.
That is now. There's a reason why we are called Gunners, my friend.
We're going to grab these guys by the balls,
my friend.
Reckless talk. Son of a Justin. Hey, reckless talk. But I got expensive habits. Don't step in salt.
All right, hey people, what's going on? Call me, man. What's going on, man? How are things on your end?
It's been a tough 2 weeks. Yeah, man. I realized that we live for football.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I miss football. I live for football. So yeah, it's been boring, to be honest.
It's been extremely boring, but the 2 weeks felt like 1 year.
Yeah.
But we are back. Football is back. This Saturday, the Premier League basically is back.
Yeah.
And I think the Champions League by the next week also, I think we'll be meeting with which team will we be meeting with? I think people forgetting, but then just know that the next week by the there's a Champions League game going on.
Mm-hmm.
So this coming Saturday, we are meeting the Blues. It's an away game. We're going to Stamford Bridge. It's Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the most interesting games I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
Basically, I think for the past 4 games we've met with these guys, both home and away, we've had a very good record on them. I think we've been beating them. Of course, they're struggling right now. They're trying to pick up form. The recent game they played versus, was it Sheffield or Luton? I think they beat. They had a victory, 4-1 victory.
Yes.
We equally had a victory as well over Man City.
Yes.
So Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Yeah.
Man, your thoughts, Bernard? Do you think this is a game that will comfortably, but they go past? Or
I choose to be balanced in my view.
Yeah.
I think they're there for the taking. I think we are the lion and they're the lamb.
Yeah.
They're there to be eaten. But I still feel respect should be there.
Yeah.
We need to have a disciplined performance like the one for Man City.
Yeah.
But I think we need a bit of arrogance. I like the arrogance we showed when we put. Somebody told me that what's this guy's name? Haaland is still lost in the pocket of
Saliba.
Of Saliba. So I think if you've seen Ibrahimovic, Messi, to be a winner, there has to be a certain level of arrogance.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, I feel I want us to borrow the disciplined performance of Man City.
Yeah.
But not to fear them.
Yeah.
Because I believe if we take them lightly, because that's the mental side I think Arteta has been working on.
Yes.
To have a professional performance, be it Nottingham, be it Chelsea, be it whatever.
Yeah.
So if they respect them, and if we score early, then it is up to Chelsea to attack us. And Arsenal is the most dangerous when you open, when you are open. When you play open football,
that's it.
Arsenal is one of the most dangerous.
Yeah.
But now with teams going with low blocks, defending a lot, we struggle to penetrate. And the one good boy called the one that we want to sell. What's his name? This Nigerian boy. I mean, Nigerian English boy.
Edin Ketia.
Edin Ketia.
He's Ghanaian actually.
You said we shoot a lot, but we don't have penetration.
Yeah.
But for Nketiah, he has a problem of shooting blanks.
But then actually, that's the thing. But let me if you look at the games we played, first of all, but you do realize that actually Nketiah used to be at Chelsea's formative years of football.
Yes,
Chelsea.
Yes.
And trust me, I've watched Nketiah for all the games, that Nketiah has always played versus Chelsea.
Yes,
he's always scored. Go check out. He's always scored versus Chelsea.
Oh, so we should put him in there because of that record.
We'll do another video by the way.
He has a good head-to-head record.
He has a very good head-to-head record. For all the games that Nketiah has played versus Chelsea, he's always scored. And those are one of those games that usually turns up. The thing about Nketiah, he's more of like, he was sold by Chelsea. Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. that's the thing. We have a couple of players right now in the camp, but they were from Chelsea. I mean, we have Jorginho from Chelsea. We have Havertz. We have these are the players, especially a player like Havertz.
Yes,
Havertz understands.
He has a lot
ground.
to prove. Yeah,
Havertz, I'm telling you, I want Havertz in that game. By the way, I want Havertz to finally shut people. By the way, yeah, because I mean, looking at Havertz right now.
Let me interrupt you a bit.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
In your opinion, what does in a game like that, and in terms of his style of play, based off the Arsenal you knew last season and now, what does Havertz bring to the team?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
I believe he's a world-class player.
Yeah,
and there's a role he plays. I've had pundits, I've had Arteta give their comments on what he does, but I just like your opinion.
My opinion.
Just based off what you've seen, and without, of course, any player needs time to gel with the team. So let's not be too judgmental. But he's not yet the prime Havertz. But based off what you're seeing so far,
from what I'm seeing so far,
what you're seeing so far, and the potential, what do you think he brings to the team?
So answer your question, but from my observation, what I've seen Havertz so far by the bring to the team, he's able to create. He's not really by then in a position to score right now.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen so far from the Man City game, from the games basically, even during the Community Shield, his ability to create. That's one thing, but then I think Havertz adds to the team. Yeah.
Okay, let me add a bit. I know I caught you off guard a bit with that question. But I know many people are wondering what he brings to the team. He's not an out-and-out striker, but he could play like a number 9 or a false 9. Somebody who just plays slightly behind the main attacker. Can draw defenders to himself because he can receive. You see, when people play, either press us too much or try to disrupt our play, we can mix up the play by throwing an overhead pass. In fact, that's how the goal came over Man City. He is very composed, in terms of setting up a pass, and because he's tall, right? He can receive the ball. So he brings height. Which means when they're trying to press us or disrupt our flow in terms of the passing game, he is a good like a target person.
So basically your point is basically pulls defenders
to himself,
so
that now either Saka or Martinelli have a chance to attack from the sides and create room, because ideally our plan is normally to create overload so that somebody is left to have space to score.
I
see?
agree.
So the Martinelli is terrorizing on this side. Saka terrorizing on the right side, and then now you have Jesus, of course, being Jesus. He comes in to help support the midfield. He comes to the front, he comes to the side. He's all over the place. You see, just linking up play, ensuring that the passes are fluid, and the ball is moving. You see? But then on occasion, you can have that pass from the back, either from Raya or whoever, that catches them off guard, because ideally they know if you allow Arsenal to play, you're sword, you get slaughtered. So that's what he brings. I think he attracts on a good day. If once the panic or once the composure comes, he is a good linkman person. So I feel like that's what he'd bring, because ideally everybody who plays against Arsenal tries to suffocate us either with physicality or play a low block. So when it's a low block, fine, we have all the ball on this side, but when we try to penetrate, like, it's so difficult because they're looking to counter. You see, so you need that variety of play. I think
that's the value basically Havertz is adding right now to the team. And I feel like he still has more to offer, because I've seen the guys' highlights from the previous team before actually came to the Premier League. Havertz definitely, there's definitely playing Havertz. That's one thing I'll tell you for sure. You can check his highlights. You guys can check his highlights. Now another player that David Raya, for the much you've seen him, but they play for the time he's been given time to play. Do you think he's actually playing perfectly, but from the back? Because for me, you go ahead. But from what you've observed,
not to be biased. So I know you have your we had a bit of a back and forth
Yes.
regarding David Raya, but
Yeah.
first things first. Any new player needs gelling time period.
Mm-hmm.
The delay on the ball,
Mm-hmm.
if you've listened to Arteta and if you've listened to Raya and if you've listened to the teammates,
Mm.
because everybody likes to play a low block against Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
part of the tactic, we learned this from Brighton,
Yeah.
is to hold the ball a bit longer
Mm-hmm.
to attract them to come
Mm-hmm.
so that they open up space ahead,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's just following instructions. It will take some time, but
Yeah.
he's following the coach's instructions. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might cost us a goal,
Yeah.
but he cannot. I mean, when you look at the statistics
Mm-hmm.
in terms of losing balls,
Mm-hmm.
they were saying even Ederson of Man City loses the ball more, though he plays, he ball plays.
Mm.
Raya is better at the ball on his feet than
Yeah.
like most of the goalkeepers in the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in terms of our playing style, I think he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just painful when I love them both. Usually, Ramsdale is a personality. He taunts he taunts the team that comes, or if he goes away,
Yeah.
he's fearless and everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
in terms of our style of playmaking from the back,
He doesn't do that.
he does, but he's not as good.
He's not as perfect.
Because remember, Arsenal is a top 2, top 3 Premier League team. So there's that pressure to perform.
Yeah.
So when you're playing in a club as big as Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
even though you are good, if you're not, like top tier, it's painful. That's now the hazards of playing for a big club like Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Liverpool.
One point the fans on your neck, the next point the fans
Yes.
are praising you.
Yeah, when you do it and it works and we counter and score,
Yeah.
people will love you. When you make a mistake, because if I told any fan, just go coach for Arteta for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, 2 games, just go, you be the manager, you run things.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Oh,
yeah, and to put your footprint
Yeah.
on the team is not that hard. You've seen how Man City has been thrashing us all the time.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, the team is coming of age.
The fear factor thing by this is actually completely gone. We like you said, actually, just coming back to Man City before dive into this head-to-head record. So like, you remember back in the days, there's a fear factor.
Yeah.
The fear factor, for meeting Man City. But right now, there's a bit of rivalry going on right now. Even if you see, man, Ben White versus Grealish.
Yes.
You remember the altercation they had, but they when they were getting the tunnel.
Yes.
So like there's that rivalry thing building up, which is good
because they both want to win.
And they exactly, and you now see, if you looking at that, the fear factor thing is actually coming off, but we are basically now shedding that off. All right, Kwame. So now let's go to the head-to-head record. So first of all, actually, Chelsea versus Arsenal. We're meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Yes.
That is 7:30 p.m. East African time. Now let me go to the stats. Head-to-head record. The last 5 matches, actually. I'll put this up. You can look it up. So now Arsenal, that was last season. Remember, last season is when Chelsea was extremely poor. Extremely poor. Spent so much money, and things are still not happening. So we head-to-head record. Last season we beat them 3-1. That was a home game, and then away we beat them 1-0. And then I think for the Florida Cup we beat them 4-0.
Yes.
Then Premier League, that was 2022. We beat them 4-2, and that was at Stamford Bridge. That was the game I remember actually. Nketiah scored 2 goals. And then that was on 21st August. Premier League, they beat us 2-0. So like looking at the stats actually for the last 5 matches, these guys have actually just beaten us once. Yeah. So we have a very good head-to-head record against these guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So like what do you make of these records? I mean, do you think we are still going to continue the same trajectory of thrashing these guys?
Okay. I think now I'm between a football fan and a purist. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Chelsea is where Arsenal was when Arteta came in. We finished that the first time Arteta came in, we finished number what? Number 8.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Transition. The coach needs a time to give his ideas.
But the question is, do you think Chelsea gives the coaches time?
I think people are copying Arsenal's blueprint. The success we've had, though we didn't win the league, they are realizing they have to put in some trust in the coach
Yeah.
and allow him to
And
build.
give him time. Yeah.
So
yeah.
even this youth,
Mm.
it was Arsenal has been doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they have seen even the sell-on value of bringing in young players
Yeah.
allows the player, because Arsenal, we had to let go many players for free because they were too old or we were paying them too much money such that we could not sell. There was no sell-on value because it's just like now, for example, Holding or say Pepe, he was on over £100,000 per week. He didn't shine as much as we thought we would want him to shine. So what did that mean? When he was trying to look for another club, find they're saying, okay, there's something in there with Pepe. But one, his age. Then number two, the salary. Arsenal always ended up doing what? Having to add money to pay the salaries. But now we've learned from that.
Yeah.
So for me, back to Chelsea,
Yeah.
so that we don't deviate, because there's so many ways this discussion can go. Is Chelsea is in a time of transition. Now, I'm not here to give anybody free roses.
Yeah.
They are still a young team. They're learning each other. It's like entering the ring as an amateur fighter with Mike Tyson. They are there for the knockout.
Yeah.
They are there for the knockout. I'm not here to laugh with people, right? Just play a very masterful performance, like the way we did with Man City. Grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Because Mudryk has doubt. You see?
Yeah, there's a lot of doubt.
There's a lot of doubt with him. You have spent so much money on him, he's not performing. And many other players. So we can play into that psychology.
Exactly.
We go in there with confidence. We are in their faces, cause mistakes.
Yeah.
Cause mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slaughter these goats.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I mean, they're there for the taking.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
we should just not disrespect them. But I think they're there for the taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at it, by the way, I think between us and Chelsea, who's more desperate for a win? Of course, Arsenal. Because remember, Chelsea right now, even if they lose a game, you know, like you say, they're still in transition.
Yes.
But you see, us, we have everything to lose. Because right now, remember, we're top of the table, but they're just second behind. Tottenham.
But you see, that psychology, I've learned a lot from Pep, Arteta, Ancelotti, and all these great coaches. That one is good for the fans. When you're always under pressure, we must win the league, we must win this game. As a coach, if you use that line of pressure, you create unnecessary pressure, because as much as we are not in transition, our players are still kids. So that's why you're saying I'm talking this bravado talk, like we are the lion, they are the lambs. Let's slaughter them, let's show them. But at the same time, you have to be respectful of your opponent. You see? Yeah. So I do believe we can win these guys. We will win these guys. But what we need is a disciplined performance. Granted, our only weak point is our attack, scoring. Our attack is strong, but our scoring, we don't have like an out-and-out scorer.
A little striker.
Yeah, and every time we delay in scoring, the more confidence they get. So for me, if I was Arteta, I'd say, go there without fear. The Man City game, we've beat them twice this season. Community Shield, and now this other the other game. So we have confidence. So we need to ride on that confidence. Bring it to Chelsea. These young guys are still trying to discover. Mudryk is questioning himself. You know, like, and then just employ those the dark arts of defending, pressuring them, making them second guess themselves. You know, we need to employ all these tactics because we know they are still scared. You know, they are not yet sure about how they're supposed to play.
And interesting enough, by the way, looking at the way for the I think the 8 games we've played so far, our away record by that has been so good. We've had quite some good away record. So definitely it's a game that I think we should win this game.
And just a quick question. Why do you think, I have my own thoughts on why we perform well. Why do you think Arsenal performs well away than at home? What's your theory?
My theory behind that? So the thing is I feel like, you know, with home, there's so much pressure from the fans. There's so much expectations. So I feel like probably the pressure usually gets to the players. So that's why probably maybe when these guys are at home, you know, the pressure by the teams tends to, you know, kick in. So when these guys are away, there's less pressure on them. Even looking at the the players when they're playing home. There's always that tendency, you know, you don't want to make mistakes. Even if you look at the game we played versus Man City, the first half, before Martinelli came in, players not really expressing themselves. Guys were just, you know, playing safe. So I think the pressure on the fans actually is what usually makes these guys freeze, which is quite unfortunate because, you know, that pressure, but they know that at home is supposed to be, you know, this is our home band.
Like Liverpool, the way they play when they're at home.
So I don't know why the pressure usually comes in, but I think that's the reason why.
I think just to chime in on what you're saying, for me, I think it's a bit different. I think they have had a few seasons to kick that out of their system. The issue is, you've seen for teams that allow us to play, more often than not, we destroy them. So when they come to our home, they defend and they get us on the counter. Now, when they get us on the counter and they happen to score, then they go back on a low block. Now we get frustrated when we can't penetrate because all their focus is they don't want to lose the game, so they just want to defend. And as you're trying to win the game, you could either get scored, you know, so there's that pressure. You see? So, but now when they play away, the teams are more confident. They try to take a few more risks. When they take a few more risks, they open up. Then we penetrate.
I get you.
You see? So I guess it's not a complaint. This is the Premier League. Every team is watching Arsenal games. They have a technical bench. They are always looking to improve. How can we frustrate Saka? How can we nullify Jesus? Like the way Man City nullified Trossard. Teams are constantly studying. So that's why Arteta says he has 42 different formations, so that they can always adapt depending on the type of
the situation
of the adversary and that type of thing. And so that's the kind of thinking I think Arteta is trying to instill in the players. So so I'm confident that we'll overcome.
Just one more question, but before you go to your score prediction, now for this game specifically, do you think a player like Havertz and Jorginho, would you start them for this game?
How would I say? For me, I don't want to focus so much on personalities. I'd like to consider that Arteta has thought about the attributes. Like, I think the most dangerous player for them is Sterling. He has experience from Man City. And some of those players do have, like Enzo Fernandez, like he is a very good midfielder. So they have how do I say, like, you know, that player who has potential future star quality, but they are still green, right? So for me, how I would approach the game, I'd look at their most dangerous players and nullify. The way we knew that if we mark Haaland and then mark their playmaker, who's that playmaker? The Portuguese guy. I don't know why I can't get the name in my head right now. Is it Bernardo Silva?
Is it?
Bernardo.
Silva. Silva.
So Silva, if you allow him to play, he will control the game. So they marked Haaland, made sure he doesn't get a sniff of the ball, and they made sure that Bernardo Silva does not play make. Right? Just the same way they tried to nullify our playmaker Odegaard, because he makes things happen. So if he doesn't get the ball, then you see. So for me, rather than focus on personalities, of course, there is that element. The games are about all the small details. So we were discussing with you before we set up this video. And you talked of Nketiah's head-to-head record. So all those things, I put my trust in Arteta to look at the pros and cons in terms of what he needs to do to nullify their threats and score. So I wouldn't focus so much more on personality, because he doesn't know the lineup. Because depending on the lineup, then they would know how to play. Depending on the formation, they would know how to play. But either way, all I'll say is we need to, the closest in terms of all the games that they have played this season, I'd like them to go to that place the same way they played Man City. Little spaces, and killer instinct.
Yeah.
Because once we score, when you look at the head-to-head record, when Arsenal scores first, 80% of the time we win the game. When we score first. So if we make sure we don't lick a goal in the first 15 minutes, and then we score the first goal, and now they have to attack us, we are most dangerous. You see?
Okay. You talked about, but they're not looking into personality. For me, I beg to disagree. For me, for this kind of game, trust me when I say history and personality is actually going to have a difference. It's actually going to contribute. It's going to have some form of contribution.
Yes.
So a player like Havertz, having him for this game would be enough for me. I would actually bring him in the second half. Probably maybe once we have a comfortable cushion. Reason being, this is a player that first of all, he has so much to prove. And, you know, there's also that sense of even
pressure.
There's that sense of pressure to prove, and there's that sense of pressure to actually, you know, shut guys down. And you know how things work. When you try so hard, is when you fail so hard.
But then remember, there are things the coach knows that we don't know. So it all depends on how fit they are from there playing the international games. So we don't know the fitness level. The other thing, how you perform during the training session. So there's something the coach will see is like, I should put this player. That's why for me, I'm like, whatever he needs to do to win, let him do that. Of course, those small details of, let's put this guy, he'll prove a point, because they sold him, so he'll show them, you lost me. But you see, those are emotional things.
But emotion is a factor. It's a factor.
It is a factor, but it is not everything. If you run a football club purely in emotion,
not purely in emotion. It's a factor that a coach definitely has to put into consideration. But for me, the other approach this game, of course, we're going to do our preferred 11 after this video. But for me, I don't want any Chelsea player to play for this game. Any ex-Chelsea player to start for this game. I'll bring them in once we probably have a comfortable cushion. That's all about approach the game. Anyway, you look forward to the next video of your preferred 11, my preferred 11. Score prediction.
I think of the win of Man City. And a lot of our players going on international duty, like Martinelli, Jesus, Gabriel. There's a disadvantage of injuries, but there's also the pride of playing for your national team. So if I was Arteta, I'd have a rallying cry for the team and say, like, guys, you guys are now international players. You almost won the league last time. Please play without fear. Right? So score prediction, 3-0. Bold, but 3-0. We kept Haaland in the pocket. No, for sure, I'm very confident right now. In terms of our defense, I'm very confident. But like you said, you know, the fact that these guys haven't been around for these 2 weeks, for my score prediction, and in being it's an away game, and the way Chelsea is right now in terms of their form, I'll give it a 4-0. I'll give it a 4-0. That is the way.
I'll give it a 4-0.
That is now. There's a reason why we are called Gunners, my friend.
We're going to grab these guys by the balls,
my friend. We are the lion. There is a lamb. What does a lion do when you put meat in front of it?
Definitely, Maze eats it.
Yes.
So you guys, let us know about your score prediction. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Couple of things we need from you. Just ensure you smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. The road right now is actually to 1,000 subs, bro.
On to the next one.
Banner.
Go Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners.